Welcome to the Compliance.Network podcast, your compliance community. Since 2014, we've been helping financial services companies understand and follow the rules that govern the industry. Whether you're nearby or across the globe, we're here for you. Let's jump into the latest trends, tips, and updates in the ever-evolving world of regulatory compliance.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode numero uno of the Compliance.Network podcast. I'm your co-host, Jeremy Wolf, joined by none other than your host. We have Kevin Rowe, the founder and CEO of Compliance.Network. Kevin, always a pleasure to see you.
Absolutely, Jeremy. Glad to join you here today on episode number 1
of this, your very own podcast show. So
yeah,
I'm excited to get into this. So every time, what I always like to do is start off by kind of teeing this up and let our listeners know a little bit about, first off, what you do at Compliance.Network, and then your background, right? How you got into this and why you do what you do. Because I think it's important to understand the why behind a business. So with that being said, why don't you start off by sharing a little bit about specifically what you do at Compliance.Network?
Sure, absolutely. So here at the Compliance Network, we work with registered investment advisors as well as FINRA member broker-dealers, assisting them understand and interpret the rules and how it impacts their ongoing compliance with the rules. So our team will come in and review their policies and procedures, look at the policies and procedures to make sure that we believe that it meets the rule. And then we design the program because the procedures have to match what you're doing. So a lot of connecting the dots and ensuring that the broker dealers and investment advisors are following the rules laid out at their firm. So you get a bunch of laws from the SEC and you get laws and rules from FINRA. And so our rule as broker dealers and investment advisors, you have to follow that process, the rules. And so how you meet the rule is just as important as meeting the rule. So you want your policies and procedures to outline stuff. So we spend a lot of time there. And then we also work with anti-money laundering. As you can imagine, since 9/11, there's been a lot of laws passed by Congress to focus on how money is moved throughout the U.S. monetary system. So we assist our clients with identifying suspicious activity and high risk accounts in high risk jurisdictions.
Yeah, so certainly there are a lot of technical issues, a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of red tape, a lot of hurdles for businesses to deal with when it comes to compliance. What is your typical client profile? Like, who are you typically helping through Compliance.Network? Are you dealing with solo operator insurance agents, or not insurance, financial agents, I should say, or large scale corporations and everything in between? Like, what's your target audience?
So we're a really boutique firm,
Okay.
meaning that, we review any potential client for any existing regulatory challenges that they may have, whether or not our team has the know-how to help them out of that particular scenario. And then most of our clients, I would say, are smaller entities where they may have 20 to 30 registered representatives, or 1 to 2, maybe 5 at the most investment advisor representatives on the investment advisor program. So very niche and very boutique in the sense that not all business is business that we're able to assist with for various reasons. So it's a calculation on our side on how we kind of choose to work with different member firms.
Got it. So customized, everything you do is customized per client.
Yes.
Now, you are also dealing with, this is not just within the US, you deal with a lot of foreign entities as well, correct?
Well, foreign affiliates, right? So there's always going to be, in our business, at least what we see in a portion of our business, is that we have certain broker dealers that may exist under foreign regulations, and they want to operate here in the U.S. under our regulations. And so we help that team from the foreign country get acclimated with the rules and requirements here in the U.S. in order to conduct this type of business.
Right. So you basically sit down with them. Obviously, if you think you could help a business, you kind of handle all regulatory concerns from the setup to the implementation of systems in place to deal with these things, updates, keeping things current, pretty much A to Z, soup to nuts when it comes to all things, financial compliance.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely recommend to our clients different systems. We've worked with quite a few, as you can imagine. Everyone has a preference, and that allows for us to design the program in a way that helps them meet the rules. And a lot of times, that's going to be through some type of software.
And now, is this an ongoing relationship, or do you typically come in, do a setup, and then that's it? You set it and forget it, or are you there providing consultative services as needed? How does that relationship work with clients?
I would definitely say that there's always the consultative approach, whether it really just depends on the product, or excuse me, the service that the client's looking for. We work on both long-term projects as well as short duration projects. We call those remediations. So you may see, as we progress here in time, that there'll be certain cases that'll talk about remediation actions required or mandated by a regulator. And in those particular situations, we may be on short term in terms of remediating a specific challenge that the firm's having, but we typically still maintain a great relationship. And so we may find some questions or conversations about other projects in the future.
Yeah, man, what you do just seems to me so important because there's so many regulations. It's so confusing. There's so much out there, and having a slight oversight as a business owner and not being in compliance with something, I can only imagine can cause serious repercussions for the business, not only financially, but in other ways too. I could imagine, if you're not operating properly, you can get shut down. You could have all sorts of things happen.
Absolutely. The reputational risk is always one that we remind our clients of, because you can't get your reputation back. You can always make additional money, but when you pay a fine, you're also getting a reputational hit as well. So that presents a challenge. And yes, there's a lot of rules, but my goal here is to hopefully share how these rules benefit you and I in terms of any investments that we may have, even in our 401ks. They're typically could be managed by an investment advisor, but those transactions or those accounts are held at a broker dealer. So even in a 401k, these rules apply to the broker dealers and the investment advisors so that the market is fair and transparent for all. We have to make sure in this industry that you stay away from the big lengthy phrases or exaggerated phrases, in addition to ensuring that you're being as fully transparent about any type of fees that an investor would pay, and what type of risk you'll be taking with their investment.
Got it. And we're going to dig into a lot of these different topics in future episodes in the show, but I wanted to get an idea. How did you get into this business? What's your background look like, Kevin? Like, is this, I can't imagine that, you were growing up when you were young and you were just like, man, I really love compliance and I love regulatory stuff. Like,
Right.
When did you get into this stuff, and how did you make this your passion?
I would say that it was actually given to me by a coworker.
Okay.
He noticed my work and said, "Hey, you should think about compliance." And I said, "Okay." Previous to working in a compliance department, I worked in a telephone call center for a mutual fund 401k company. I worked in operations, opening and approving accounts. And so that part of it, opening accounts and also working on the telephone, there are obviously rules that you have to comply with. So even though I never worked prior to 2005 in compliance, I was always impacted, whether it was taking the Series 6, eventually the Series 7, to working with different plan participants of 401ks and helping them find the investments that would be right for their risk tolerance as well as their time horizon. So I did a little bit of operation stint, and then eventually was introduced by a colleague to compliance. And I think what drew me to it the most once I got into it was the amount of analytical thought. And then having the opportunity to work for one of the regulators increased my ability to understand what is at heart here, and what is at heart is protecting investors from those bad characters or actors that want to do harm and possibly cause them to lose money or take their money. So it's more about the investor than it is the firm, in the sense that our job is to protect the investor, the firm, and the people that work at the firm.
So the entry point for you got in when you started this on the other side, on the regulatory side. So you got to look firsthand under the hood at what the regulatory side looks like, which I think is incredibly powerful for you to now be on the other side of that, because now I'm sure you have a firm understanding of what to expect from the regulatory side in order to properly protect your clients and advise them moving forward. So when was Compliance.Network born?
In 2014, July of 2014, I had the honor to file the paperwork with the state to incorporate. And within a few months, we were able to get some assignments, and I guess the rest is history. So we're in our 10th year now, and we're really excited about what the future holds.
Well, congratulations on the 10-year anniversary. That's big.
Thank you.
That's good stuff.
Absolutely.
Man.
Our team has done fantastic. Those that have come and been a part of the journey along the way, we obviously thank them. Even those that may have moved on to additional career challenges, and the new folks that we have, and future folks as well. So I'm really grateful for our team and the way our team executes our tasks.
What would you say is one of the most rewarding things after having been this 10-year anniversary? Clearly you're passionate about what you do. What's one of the most rewarding things about being a business with the Compliance.Network?
I tell you, I studied international business at Temple University, my alma mater, and then to launch 2 years ago, as you see in your back there, Compliance.Network LATAM, where we have a team of professional compliance and lawyers down there that really helps us conduct our missions here in terms of our tasks. So I would say for me, the most rewarding part so far has been to actually do what I went to school for, which was to do international business. And so that so far has been a great milestone for us to reach.
Very cool. Very cool. Lastly, why are we doing this podcast, man? Right? I know you're busy, obviously, growing your business, doing a lot of good things in our community and well beyond. But what's your motivation behind this platform? What are you hoping to achieve? And what's your ultimate goal with the podcast?
Absolutely. So I think we have impacts, as we mentioned earlier, with, how these firms work with their clients, which is first and foremost, and then also how the firm operates with its personnel. So our goal is to continue to educate, share resources for the investing public that can help explain to them. The regulator does a fantastic job of putting out or requiring certain documents be presented so that you learn everything you can about the business that you're thinking of investing with. So the goal here is to educate, inform, and use this podcast as a tool to allow for our team to continue to grow. It was a great experience working with the regulator. We've seen a few curveballs over the years, so it's a continual learning process, and I too hope to learn something out of this process as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun ride. Can't wait to get into some of these topics and learn more about the specifics and the nuances of what you do. So with that, we'll wrap this up, and we'll look forward to seeing everyone on the next episode where we dig into some of these upcoming regulatory changes on the horizon. And you're going to share some insights and help people understand kind of what to expect moving forward and how that's going to affect them. So good stuff, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will catch everyone next time. Everyone take care.
Thank you for tuning in to the Compliance Network podcast. We hope you found today's episode valuable. Until next time, you may find our community on social media at Compliance.Network. We are on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook for more insights and observations.